5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Yeah, I don't even know if we can do this anymore. It's been like, what's it been, a month?
It ain't been that long, has it?
What was it? Well, last one we did was Colt.
Yeah, that was an eternity ago.
Yeah, that was about a month ago. It was the 18th or the 19th.
Well, I read or listened to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Can we have a fuck counter on this episode?
I'll put one up.
Ding! Fuck. Ding! The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, a counterintuitive approach to living a good life by Mark Manson. This might be one of my favorite reads or listens, whatever. He's like a real sarcastic dude, and he's also, well, he doesn't actually do the narrating in the audio version, but he's a younger guy, and just the way that he writes is like really down to earth, but he's also a pretty intelligent guy, and as you're listening to it, you're like, you're kind of nodding along going, that makes sense, but he presents it in a pretty funny way. Like, I'll give you the names of the chapters. Chapter 1, don't try. Chapter 2, happiness is a problem. Chapter 3, you are not special.
So this sounds positive.
Right. Chapter 4, the value of suffering. Chapter 6, you're wrong about everything. Failure is the way forward. And chapter 9, the aha moment for me is called And Then You Die.
I can't wait to get into this.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It seems like it's just really easy to just say, I just don't give a fuck. Like, that's any low life on earth can just say, I just really don't give a fuck. But the way he presents it is like, it's not about being indifferent. It's more about being comfortable with being different. Does that make sense? Like, it's not just like, I don't care about anything. You should care, but you shouldn't care about everything. You have too few fucks to give to just be spreading them out over like everything. Thoughts?
That makes sense. I mean, it sounds like he's not saying like literally don't give a fuck about anything.
Right.
Basically, don't give a fuck about what you can't control.
Yeah, well, that and give a fuck about the things that really matter. Stop caring so much about the guy that cuts you off in traffic. Who really cares? I mean,
I care.
Stop
I hate
though.
That guy.
Or stop caring so much that you didn't mow your lawn at the right time and now it's too tall or whatever. Like, stop caring about those things. One of the first points he brings up is called the backwards law. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So it's about the more you pursue something, the less satisfied you become in pursuing it, because it only reinforces the fact that you're lacking that thing in the first place. So, the more you're striving to, get, I don't know, a ripped body or whatever, like the more you pursue it, the less satisfied you become because you're not okay with the being different part. Going back to his kind of main thesis.
So don't get a ripped body.
No, he's not saying that. Don't be indifferent about it, but don't care so much that it like bogs your mind down that it's like it's killing you basically.
The only thing you're consumed by that thought.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so he makes the point about like going to a gym or like failure in business, like inversely will like lead to success down the road. That's like when people give Trump so much shit about bankrupting a couple of businesses or whatever. Like, he's not a failure, he's a billionaire.
Yeah. I think Trump is the poster boy of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, he could be. the ultimate troll.
I'm reading some of like the quotes from the book and stuff. like it's dedicate your fucks only to what's truly fuckworthy. But this is good right here. The key to a good life is not giving a fuck about more. It's giving a fuck about less. Giving a fuck about only what is true and immediate and important.
See, don't you feel yourself like as you're reading that, just kind of like
that
nodding
kind of
along?
explains it better.
That makes sense.
I'm
Yeah.
understanding that a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause at first it just sounded like be lazy, just say screw it.
No, it's the opposite of that.
Only care about what matters to you, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
I like his topic about happiness as a problem. Have you ever read that? I've seen it on Facebook a couple of times about where these arborists were trying to conduct a study on trees, and they had them in this enclosed dome, and they were growing these trees in what was supposed to be like this ideal, perfect scenario where they had just the right amount of sunlight, just the right amount of water, and they were conducting these tests on, whatever they were trying to figure out with these trees. But after so long, these trees were just wilting, just falling over, and they couldn't figure out why until they realized that the stress of wind actually strengthens them and is able to make them grow strong. So like we have to have an amount of stress in our lives to be able to build anything.
Yeah, here's a quote from the book that goes along with that. It says, "To be happy, we need something to solve. Happiness is therefore a form of action."
Yes, that point was kind of an aha moment for me. I mean, we've sort of been talking about like these topics without really having an answer. We just sit here and go, I don't know, why do we work so hard, or when are we going to be satisfied? He defines happiness coming from solving problems. That makes sense? Like
makes sense.
You always have to have a problem to solve, no matter how small it is. But happiness comes from the continuing solving of problems, and we shouldn't try to just avoid them entirely.
I mean, your whole life is problems. Like you're just every day you're thinking about something you need to fix, this and that. So it makes sense if you're solving a problem, you're going to be happy.
Yeah, and how often do you see like folks that just retire? Like my dad and my stepmom just retired, and I think they both sort of had a little bit of a panic moment in them where they were like, "Wait, now what?" They're going to stay busy. They're going to keep having miniature versions of problems to solve. But that can kind of explain like why even royalty can become miserable. What's old girl that just
Meghan Markle.
yeah.
She's about to get what's that one? The last Princess Diana. She's about to get that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one that bailed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just said,
Left the royal family.
just said, "Fuck you, I'm going to Canada."
Like, what better gig is there than the royal family?
But they did what all those celebrities said they were going to do when Trump got elected. They actually
Go to
did
Canada?
it. They went to Canada. Fuck it.
Yeah, they.
I think Canadians are like the masters of not giving a fuck. Now that we're talking about that, have you ever seen a pissed off Canadian?
Or even a mean one.
Really?
They're just nice.
Only on South Park.
Yeah.
It's just
They have square wheels and their head detaches when they talk.
But seriously, like I can't think of one like mean Canadian.
You have a bunch of Canadian friends, do you?
Alex Trebek.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds.
Right around really.
Happy guys.
Justin Bieber. He gets mad sometimes.
He makes everybody
Dude,
mad.
that dude is flat depressed.
Yeah. He looks terrible.
Is Nickelback a Canadian band?
Yeah.
Nickelback? I mean, they piss everybody off, but I don't think they give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what. Let's just think of Canadians for now. This is the rest of the podcast.
We're changing it to Canadian Day.
Avril Lavigne's Canadian, ain't she?
She is. She's hot.
What are the point? What's the point we're trying to even make? Or are we just naming
Because
Canadian
I don't,
people
I
now?
don't, I don't give a fuck about this podcast. I want to talk about Canadians.
Oh, that's
Fuck it.
That's kind of where we're at.
I know.
Is there any quotes in there about his about chapter 3? You are not special.
I don't see any. I got happiness is a problem, the value of suffering, and failure is the way forward.
I feel like a lot of people need to hear that they're not special.
Yeah. Well, he points out that all of us have some degree, some more than others, a degree of entitlement. And as I was listening to it, when I first started listening to it, I was like, I'm not like that. But then when he really starts diving into it, I'm like, huh. Yeah, like whatever, being upset about lack of money, but you're not working around the clock, or I don't know. I wish I would have written down more examples.
Or like missing a promotion that you really don't deserve.
Yeah, I feel like too often we go back to the topic of money, but yeah, I mean he's describing a guy in this chapter that always has some sort of business deal going on, but he's always just bouncing around from one idea to the next, and they're always just ideas. And I sort of related to that in a little bit. I was like, yeah, I do have a lot of ideas, but I don't always push them as far as I possibly can.
Here's a good one that kind of relates to it. It's from the book. It says, you get pissed off because your spouse hasn't thanked you for washing the dishes. You realize you are pissed off for a tiny matter, and that again pisses you off even more. Now you're pissed off about yourself being pissed off.
Yes, that's a much better example than what I just came up with.
It says the solution is not to give a fuck about negative experiences, anxiety, anger, guilt, fear, etc. It's okay having these feelings and feel like shit sometimes. Don't make it worse by beating yourself up for feeling that way.
You know what I'm pissed off about? Andrew Yang didn't qualify for the last debate. I'm real upset about that.
Did you really think he was going to?
Yes. Do you know why he didn't qualify? I know this is totally a different topic, but I got to get it off my chest.
Why?
So after the last debate, they had to qualify in I think it was 4 different polls. They had to reach 5% in early states, or it was a higher threshold for non-early states or whatever. They didn't conduct but 1 or 2 polls in that entire time. So he had no chance to qualify for any polls because they never conducted any fucking polls.
So are we saying conspiracy against Andrew Yang here?
It's it was almost like to make that debate, you had to have already previously established yourself. They weren't going to look at any rising trends. And if you look at all of the candidates, he's one of the only ones that has a steady incline.
I think Andrew Yang would best fit himself not even trying to run this election, because we all know who's going to win this election.
Yeah,
just because.
I do wish he would come around 2024.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
I mean, I guess he could. Yeah.
He'd have a better shot. But 2024 is probably the woman president year.
Or Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah. Keep the Trump bloodline going.
I saw that Ivanka and Trump Jr. are already the leading 2024 candidates.
Ivanka?
Yeah.
She's not American.
That's Melania.
Oh, yeah.
What you only have to be legalized for so long, right? Because Schwarzenegger wasn't
You have to be a natural born American.
to be a president.
Yeah.
Governor don't matter.
No.
Right.
Huh.
That's weird.
Governor.
Yeah, this is weird.
Remember we were talking about laughing and crying in the last episode, and why do we even do either of those things? And we kind of related those both to stress, like coping mechanisms for stress. But Manson points it out kind of in a different light. He says emotions are just biological signals to do something. So we're responsible for our own emotions at all times, no matter what the fault of the emotion is. So we don't choose the life event that's coming our way, but we are always responsible for the emotions of the life event. So he's sort of giving you a I don't even describe it. He's giving you like a self responsibility of your own emotions and your own actions in this topic.
So it's like a chemical thing.
Yeah.
So that's why like pregnant chicks like cry over stupid shit.
Easy.
That's why I said
Not
it.
touching that one.
That's why I said it. She knows she did. I can't think of the commercial or whatever video she told me about, where they made like her and her son like
Oh yeah,
like started a
yeah. I know what you're
candle
talking about. It was a commercial about some woman and her son were making soap.
So
Yeah, and something about it was a way for her and her like autistic son to bond. And I just look over and I didn't even really know what was going on in the commercial. I wasn't paying attention at all. I look over and she's just crying. I was like, babe, it's okay. Like, then you say it, it's so sweet.
oh, fucking soap. I think when their mom was pregnant, she cried over Up, not watching the movie. Something they didn't have it at Blockbuster or something, so she freaked the fuck out or something. I believe that happened. It's something about that and a Coke. I don't remember.
My wife cried about anything. Didn't even have to be sad. God.
Can we jump off this topic as soon as possible?
She can probably hear everything we're saying.
Storm in here.
Just fuming.
I got that over here. Is the value of suffering a chapter in the book? Or is that just something he talks about?
The value of suffering, yes.
Yeah, because he says good values are reality-based, socially constructive, and immediate and controllable. Bad values are superstitious, socially destructive, and not immediate or controllable. So good values are like something like it's instant like gratification.
I don't know.
I don't know what he means by that. Oh,
we haven't done a podcast in so long. It's been 3 weeks since I listened to this book.
I got it. Examples of good values: honesty, innovation, honorability, standing up for oneself, standing up for others, self-respect, curiosity, charity, humility, and creativity. Examples of bad values: dominance through manipulation or violence.
Yeah, that seems bad.
Indiscriminate fucking. What?
Yeah, that sounds bad.
Feeling good all the time is a bad value. Always being the center of attention. Not being alone. Being liked by everybody. Being rich for the sake of being rich. What?
He's losing me now.
He's getting at what is your why in all this? Why do you need to be the center of attention? Why do you really need to be rich? Those kind of things.
Self-improvement is all about prioritizing better values and choosing better things to give a fuck about. When you give better fucks, you get better problems.
Ding.
And when you get better problems, you get a better life.
So essentially, he's just telling you to quit worrying about silly shit,
Yeah, sort of.
which is incredibly hard for anyone to do.
It is, but the light that he paints all this in, the first thing you feel dumb when he describes it, because you want to think that you're not this way, but the more he gets into it, it's almost like a sermon that's directed right at you. You're going, oh, huh, yeah, that's me.
Here's another quote from the book. It says, if you lack the motivation to make an important change in your life, do something, anything really, and then harness the reaction to that action as a way to begin motivating yourself.
It's like that quote you brought up about making your bed
Mm-hmm.
once something's done.
If you want to change the world, start by making your bed.
It says, motivation is only a 3-part chain. It is an endless loop. The correct order is action, inspiration, then motivation.
I literally just watched a YouTube video about that. It's weird.
About what?
The
I wasn't paying
cycle.
attention to what the fuck you guys were saying.
About the cycle. I just watched a
Oh.
video like 3 days ago about that. It's kind of telling you that you don't actually need motivation. You can start anywhere in the cycle. You start with action, motivation, or inspiration, and just keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it David Goggins that always shoots down motivation?
Yeah, he hates motivation.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Which he'll scream at you about it.
Yeah.
Why is motivation bullshit?
Motivation is for bitches.
Is that what he says?
I don't know.
Probably.
He's an angry dude. He's not angry. He's just like fiery all the time.
So he
doesn't want motivation. He wants drive. Anybody can have a little bit of motivation.
Motivation fades.
Right. When you have drive, you're going to get up when you have absolutely no motivation at all. You're going to get up and accomplish that task.
Dude seems like a dick. I don't know. I can't think of what really there's a similarity between motivation and drive.
Like Brad said, motivation is
more superficial.
Yeah, it's like fleeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
You could pick it up one day, it could be gone the next. If you have an underlying drive, that'll just keep you going constant.
But this guy's also a total psycho.
Yeah, he runs ultra marathons, like
he's a Navy SEAL.
200 miles.
I'm stuck on this examples of bad values, indiscriminate fucking. Like what?
I don't think that means sex. I think that means screwing people over.
Well,
He needs to be careful with that word.
I'm gonna Google this.
You're going to Google indiscriminate fucking?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get porn.
You think?
No definition. Huh?
That's indiscriminate.
Oh. Wait.
I like his point about like when people ask like what do you want out of life, he says a better question is what pain do you want in your life. So are you good with the pain of waking up at 4:30 in the morning to get your ass to the gym? That's a much better question than people asking you what do you want out of life and you say I want a six-pack.
Yeah.
Or you're good with with eating greens and a little bit of protein versus eating pizza and beer.
Yeah, it says pain is a part of the process. It makes you stronger and more resilient. Learn to sustain the pain you've chosen. Your proudest achievements come in the face of the greatest adversity.
I hate to keep bringing him up, but David Goggins, like this is all going.
Yeah, it
David
is.
Goggins.
Yeah, he's a perfect example of this.
And I'm listening to his book right now, and like that is his drive, is the pain. Like he finished Buds with a shattered kneecap, and he got kicked out. He had to do Hell Week 3 times because he had to get kicked out. And now that's how he's become successful, is like striving for pain.
Yeah. You should follow his Twitter because you're scrolling through reading about whatever the Reds or whatever, and then David Goggins pops up and it's always a video and he's running and he's like, "Listen, bitch!" Like he's like cussing at you. He's like, "Get out there and run the day. I've already ran 15 miles. About to go do deadlift."
What's his name?
David Goggins.
Yeah.
He had 2 shattered shin bones. So he had to run 60 miles every day for like 3 months with 2 shattered shin bones. So he
Hold on. 60 miles
60
every
miles
day?
For this SEALs training. This is after Buds. And
What is Buds?
Buds is like the training to become a SEAL.
Okay.
But this is afterwards, after he's already graduated. So he put these long socks on, and he had duct tape, and he duct taped around like his whole foot and shin. Put another sock on, duct taped around. And he said it took 30 minutes of the worst pain he's ever felt every day that he had to do this. But after the 30 minutes of him motivating himself, like talking to himself, like, "Yeah, you're a bad motherfucker," and he said he could just go for miles. He just forgot about the pain.
And that dude's next level.
Yeah, he's a psycho.
Hold on. I don't know if we're going to get copyrighted strike for this. I don't care. There's a minute 44 video of David Goggins on love and relationship. I'm going to play it. I got to hear David Goggins.
Please do.
And just want to ask about personal relationships.
He's going to
As far
scream
as,
at this poor
you're
guy.
going after it, your goals in life. My body is one of the easiest things. I'll tear it apart to do whatever I have to do. But it's the mental thing. you kind of get attached to, for me, it's a romantic relationship.
Right.
And I have certain goals I want to attain,
He ain't
but
got time for that
instinctually,
shit.
I know this is going to hold me back.
Go out
you
there
know?
and run.
Well-
Fall in love with running.
I hate to tell you this, my friend.
Here we go.
I hate to tell you this, but I'm gonna tell you this anyway. You asked me a question. It's hard to answer this question, man, but I gotta tell you the truth. You're never going to be happy 100% with anybody that you're with until you are happy with yourself 100%.
That's
Gotcha.
fair.
So
yeah.
if you fuck around and say, "Oh, honey, I love you, I'm this and that shit that you gotta do is gonna fucking be right back here every fucking day you wake up.
Right.
And then one day you'll be too fucking old. And then one day you look at your fucking girl and be like, man, I fucking gave up this shit. So you're gonna hold a grudge no matter what. So you might as well do you, finish you, make sure you feel good.
That wasn't too bad. I mean,
Solid.
he started to go there.
That's the first time I've ever heard him talk about anything other than basically killing himself. So that was nice.
Damn it, I picked the wrong one.
Yeah, we need to do his book one of these.
Do we just
Yeah.
scream the entire podcast? Just yell at each other?
We have to imitate him.
We're all hoarse by the end of it.
What about the chapter on Don't Try? Did we already do that one?
Yeah, that's the first chapter.
That is the first chapter.
Yeah, that's kind of where he goes into the backwards law about the more you pursue something, the less satisfied you are.
But how does that mean don't try?
I think he's titling these chapters,
Sarcastic.
kind of facetiously. Yeah. I love his point about we're all average. So not any one person on this planet, and his definition is above average, because you might be a world-class sprinter, but you might be dog shit at cooking. Or you might be an awesome auto mechanic, but you might be
You're a shitty
you might be you might be an awful leg. So eventually, if you're scaled on 1 to 50 or 1 to 100 on every single thing that you do in life, everybody boils down to a 50. Quit thinking that quit thinking that your shit don't stink, because we're all average. I love that point.
That makes sense.
Travis, you're a big music guy. You've heard of Dave Mustaine?
Mm-hmm.
He compares Dave Mustaine to Pete Best in their mindsets. So Dave Mustaine is in this band that's up and coming, and they're just about to make it, and they get a record label, and they're about to be the biggest thing ever, and they kick him the fuck out.
Metallica.
Yes.
The biggest
band of all time. So, but compare that to just,
Wait, because he kicked his dog.
Is that why?
That's a rumor I heard.
He didn't make that point, but if so, then he deserved to be kicked out. But he compares their mindsets in that, just for like a kid that's starting up a band, Dave Mustaine goes on to be in Megadeth, which to just anybody else would be a huge accomplishment, and they'd be, really satisfied with that. But they interview Mustaine now, and he's still, even at this point, comparing his entire life to...
Yeah, he never let that go.
Yeah,
He's jaded. He's pissed in every interview.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen him happy.
So no matter what he does, he's always going to have, this crappy mindset that he was a failure, even though he was in an awesome band.
2 awesome bands.
Yeah, right.
Who the hell is Pete Best?
Pete Best.
He was the drummer of the Beatles before Ringo Starr.
Oh,
yes. But compare that to him. So that's probably even big. Yeah, Beatles are bigger than Metallica. Compare that to his attitude, and he's like, nope, I'm good with it. He's like, if I would have stayed with the Beatles, I wouldn't have been able to develop these relationships with my kids and my wife and my family and all this. And he hasn't. Yeah, kind of missed out a little bit, but
We never know. Like, if he would have stayed in the band, like, everything could have changed, and he could have been the one that got shot instead of John Lennon.
That's true.
Like, poor Ringo. Nobody gives a shit about Ringo.
I seen an interview one time with the Beatles, and they asked if Ringo was the best drummer in the world.
No.
They're like, Ringo's not the best drummer in the Beatles.
Wouldn't that be shitty though? Like there's always that running joke, and nobody gives a shit about Ringo Starr. What if you're the guy that Ringo Starr replaced? Like, nobody really gives a shit about you.
I'd trade places with Ringo any day.
Yeah.
But the guy that got replaced by Ringo is still more famous than any one of us will ever be.
He also makes the point that being wrong, like we have like this, like this desire, like almost an embarrassment when we're wrong about things. He's like, stop with that attitude, because the only way that you're able to grow in this life is by being wrong.
I used to be horrible at that.
Really?
I mean, you remember me in high school.
Yeah.
I'd tell you were wrong even if you proved me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah. You would change it.
Yeah.
We'd argue about something for 2 weeks, and then you'd be wrong. You'd switch it.
No, yeah, that's not a good lifestyle.
But it makes a lot of sense when he describes it that way.
Well, it's hard to learn when you're just denying everything that someone's trying to tell you.
Yeah. You know, one thing I'm appreciative of, one of the few things I'm appreciative of my college education was that I really learned how to be wrong. And my coworkers are probably annoyed as shit with me because, I mean, I ask questions all day long. Just nonstop, you know, and, you know, I've less now that I'm a few years into it, but I mean, I still don't hesitate to ask. So I'm probably better at this than I was at one point, but you know, I have talks with my stepson all the time about, you know, he gets embarrassed when, you know, he misses a question or whatever at school in front of the class or whatever. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. Now you know that.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about not knowing that now. You know it now.
Plus, you're never going to remember that.
Right.
I don't think I have an issue with being wrong. I think I gladly say when I'm wrong, just because I'm wrong a lot.
Yeah.
Unless it's like about weird pop culture shit or music, I'm probably wrong.
Well, he has a whole chapter in this book called "You're Wrong About Everything."
See, there you go.
Yeah, I want to hear about this chapter.
Luckily for you, I have 0 notes on it.
Oh.
I think this was probably my main point about it, but that it brings forth the opportunity to grow.
So you mean what we were just talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything on that, Travis, that goes into it a little
I
bit more?
just thought you meant you were going to tell us that we're all brainwashed and
We could be that too.
everything's a lie.
Wait, here's a short summary of the book. It's literally a paragraph. Hopefully I didn't say this already. It says, sometimes life just really sucks and we cannot run away from it. We need to learn how to get in order to enjoy life more. The key to living a good life is not giving a fuck about more things, but rather focus only on the things that align with your personal values. A no bullshit approach to living a life that might not always be happy, but meaningful and centered around only what's important to you. So it really does tie into what's the word?
Minimalism.
There it is. I
Yeah.
can't say it today.
It's just more broad as not just material things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on there's not like a certain way to do this. It's like based on how you live your life, your personal values, what you want to give a fuck about.
Correct.
Like you said earlier, you shouldn't give a fuck about somebody cutting you off. Give a fuck about something that matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
Use that stress somewhere else. Don't just use it everywhere.
Right.
Or baggage you've carried around for years.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie, I give a fuck about that person cutting me off.
Yeah.
Like, I get angry about that person that cut me off. And if we're dead in traffic, I'll roll my window down and let them know how angry I am about that.
See, Brad and I have had this conversation. I think I'm probably the guy that's cutting you off.
You
and
probably-
just,
I could
don't
see
fucking
that.
care.
Absolutely
I do
is.
not care.
I've been in the car where you cut people off.
Well, I mean,
See,
I just don't care. I don't care.
See, you don't give a fuck, but that lines up with bad not giving a fucks. What do they call that?
Why?
That's bad values.
Yeah.
It's in here somewhere.
You
It's
don't
right next to
care
indiscriminate
about yourself.
fucking. Don't cut people off. Always being the center of attention. That's
Yeah.
cutting people off.
No.
You're just worried about yourself.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting to where I'm going. You get to where you're going. We'll all get there. You're fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the guy
Humility.
just ran off the road.
Humility, example of good values, and you cutting people off, you have no humility.
Fair enough.
There.
But I also don't get pissed off when I get cut off. I'm just like,
Oh,
all right.
I get all sorts of.
here
You know,
we go.
no, you know what really pisses me off when, 5 o'clock. I'm on 275, 71, whatever, and people are coming out of the merge lane. And some of them fuckers don't wait till they get to the end of the merge lane. They just start merging whenever, you know what I mean? Whenever the fuck they want. Like, there's no order. Like, it's fucking pure anarchy all of a sudden. We have no government. Like, it's just to do whatever you want. That pisses me off. I think I have a video of my phone because I got so pissed. I took a video of somebody doing it. It's like, I'm gonna fucking show
See,
somebody.
look how much energy you use in that situation, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're totally right, but
You're right. It doesn't mean I'm not going to.
But fuck that guy,
yeah,
right?
fuck that guy for cutting you off.
that's the part where you can't always control your emotion.
Yeah, especially when you're like at like fucking Walmart or Target or something, and you're trying to get through an aisle,
Oh
and
my
people
God.
decide they're gonna have a fucking conversation in the
And
middle of the
just
aisle, and they don't move. They look at you, they don't fucking move.
I did cuss at somebody today in the gas station when I was trying to get out of UDF, and old boy had his truck and trailer blocking the entire exit to the gas station. I'm like, dude, could you be more inconsiderate? Holy hell.
Shouldn't give a fuck about
I
that.
know I shouldn't.
You probably cut him off earlier.
Probably.
So he's like, "Fuck you!
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck."
I'm going to block this entire gas station from getting out.
Yeah.
No, what pisses me off in gas stations is not when they're on the phone, but when somebody's like checking out in front of you, you're in a fucking hurry, and they tell their story about their fucking life to the cashier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get your shit and get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
get
happens
pissed
all
off
the
about. I
time.
get pissed off about everything.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize I do too.
I'm just starting to get pissed off about being this.
Yeah, and then it's like he calls it the feedback loop from hell. You don't want to get mad about something, and then you're realizing you're getting mad about it, so you get re-mad.
I've talked to a guy at work about this. I remember the one day I was pissed off earlier, and I can't stop being pissed off about it. And now I'm pissed off that I'm pissed off. It's literally that.
Have you ever been like pissed off or mad about something? So instead of calming yourself down, like you'll be in your car and you'll find a song that's going to amp you up more and piss you off even more. And you start thinking about shit in your head that's not even happened.
Yeah.
And you just get pissed. I do that all the time. It's like part of my ride home. I get all my frustration out by imagining things I'll get pissed about, put on some Slipknot and just fucking just...
Or get re-mad about things that happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
You have no... Or there's something that's kind of irking you, and you can see a conversation going one way that could really make you mad. Like, we're just pushing ourselves to be mad half the time.
It's good
Or
times.
embarrassed. I've like, for whatever reason, just thought about super embarrassing moments that I've had that nobody else has even...
Oh, I do that all the time.
I'm
I've
like-
got like a list I go through that no one ever remembers.
Yeah. I'm like, God, why did I make that play in baseball my junior year? God, what was I
I'll
thinking?
try to find it if I can. I just saw a meme the other day that said, I just remembered it ago, 15 years ago, I called my teacher mom. And it's like somebody up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and now they can't
Yeah.
sleep. I think I've done that when I was little.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. But just little shit like that. But the amping myself up and getting more pissed off about stuff.
So let me get into chapter 9, which is called "And Then You Die."
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory.
No, it's not.
Oh.
This one's actually pretty enlightening. He says, "Death is the shadow by which all of life's meaning is measured." So we're actually spending all of our time and energy giving our fucks about things because we're working on these immortality projects within ourselves. So
What you accomplished.
yeah, so that's why we that's why we have, so much pressure to raise our kids, exactly like we want them to be, and for them to go on and do better, bigger and better things, because they're going to be here longer than we are.
So pretty much your legacy. You're talking about your
Yes.
legacy.
Hmm. That's why people want to have their names on buildings, or that's why they want to have great architecture, because that lives on forever, or they want to write a great song, or whatever.
That's why some of us want to get stuffed when we die. I want to be here forever.
You know what, though? After so long, no matter what you've done, it's going to be forgotten.
Yeah,
And nobody's going to give a fuck.
right. But that doesn't stop us from spending all of our
I
waking
know.
time. Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also think in 100 years, less than 100 years, no one's going to remember me. No one.
Shit. Is that what you want to be remembered for? Your architects? Shit.
I mean, I would love to have, some really cool houses or buildings or whatever sprinkled around through here, but
Trump statue.
We should put all these episodes of a podcast on like a USB or something and put them in like what's those things that time capsules. Fucking bury that motherfucker somewhere and just see if anybody finds it hundreds of years later. When we're talking about Elon Musk's that fucking cyber truck and they're flying around and shit. And
dude, have you seen his girlfriend or wife or whatever
Yeah.
she is?
Yeah,
that is a weird
it's so
old girl.
Fucking weird.
Who is she?
She's like some like 19 or 20-year-old. She's a gamer.
She's a witch, I'm pretty sure.
Because I sent you that picture, or I tagged you in it, and they were like at like the esports awards or something.
Yeah.
She's some type of gamer, I think. But he looks
Is
so.
this the same girl that's coming in next week to talk with us?
Which is probably not now. There's a, and it's a picture of Elon Musk, and he's surrounded by all these like kids in their like 20s and stuff,
Yeah.
and he looks like a pedophile. Like,
I mean, if ever there was an opposite to Elon Musk, I guess that's what it would be. I don't know.
Did we do the podcast on the Elon Musk thing before or after he did his presentation?
Of the Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we haven't done one on him.
Well, when we talked
explicitly.
about it.
I know we talked about the
like we talk
cyber
about
the
him every
cyber.
episode.
We pretty much do. We talked about the Cybertruck briefly.
Because when he's talking about like the glass is unbreakable, drop it, throw it harder, and the guy throws it, and it just.
That was awesome.
I forget how much money it said Elon Musk lost during that. It was a lot.
Did you see he wrecked it like 3 weeks after?
Really,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, didn't he like run into a pole or something? Like,
dude? Talk about a dude that doesn't give a fuck.
No, he don't.
He's
Well-
like, I'm just going to do these cool things that I like. The rest of humanity might like him too.
if
Whatever.
if you got,
I'm going to date this gamer chick.
I
I don't
think-
give a fuck.
let me look. I think she's a gamer chick. But if you got Elon Musk money, do you really have to give a fuck about anything?
I feel like he probably wants to date some girl that's like 18 or 19 because they don't have a whole lot going on in their head. And he can decompress a little
Ooh,
bit.
that's a good point.
Like, he's thinking constantly.
Yeah.
And all she cares about is, like, if she can get a sundress or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Absolutely, you can. God, is that her?
Oh my god.
They're having a baby.
It's the Antichrist.
Her name is Grimes.
Yeah. I thought she was that girl off of that one NCIS or whatever. That one gothic looking chick. Because her name was Grimes.
She looks like a character out of Stranger Things.
Oh no, she's some singer. They say she's a musician, but yeah. It says Clary.
That's definitely
Claire
her
Eli
secondary
Boucher, known
description.
professionally as Grimes, is a Canadian singer, songwriter, producer, and visual artist. Her music incorporates elements of varied styles and genres, including dream pop, R&B, electronic music, and hit. And this bitch is marrying is with Elon Musk.
Dude, good for her though.
Yeah.
I gotta see a
I'll
picture of
marry
these
her
two
right
together.
now.
Look at it. How old is she? Hold on, exactly.
Doesn't even look real.
Oh, she's 31.
What?
That's not bad.
She looks young.
Yeah, she looks
Born
19.
born in 88.
She's old as shit.
I'm older than that.
I know. That's what I said.
Man, could you imagine that kid? Does Elon Musk have any other kids? Is this his
I
heir?
don't think so.
Lucky bastard. Elon Musk isn't American, is he?
He wasn't born here, I don't think.
I don't know why that matters or why I asked that, but
Oh, for president.
How did we get here?
I don't know. I say just keep going with it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being born Elon Musk fucking child? You would not give a fuck then.
No.
But you would feel like everybody's like you, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd be like, well, everybody's dad is fucking world famous.
Yeah, world famous, rich, and builds weird cars.
That's probably who all you'd hang out with too, and weird Canadian singers.
I've never. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, no.
I gotta hear it.
It's gonna be terrible. That's exactly what I
See the
imagined.
video.
Yes.
That's exactly what I imagined.
Is this Billie Eilish?
No, it's Grimes.
This is like some Finnish music.
Okay, we went from, for anybody that can't see this, we went from dude shirtless lifting weights to motocross.
We can show this video, right?
What's
YouTube?
exactly what I thought.
Hell yeah.
Is this?
Is this like K-pop? Is that what this is?
No, this
This is dream.
is dream pop.
This is
The shit that only sounds good in your dreams. She's dancing with a hoagie. Now there's now at a football game.
This is English?
toxic.
Yeah. And here's the lyrics, just in case maybe the lyrics make sense. Another walkabout after dark. It's my point of view. If someone could break your neck, coming up behind you, always coming, and you never have a clue. And now I'm left behind all the time. I will wait forever, always looking straight, thinking, counting all the hours you wait. See you on a dark night. See you on a dark night. See you on a dark night. See you. What the fuck?
I think Dane sang that on Hee Haw one time.
Coming behind you to break your neck.
Whoop whoop.
Dude, if she kills Elon, I'll be pissed.
How did she get Elon Musk?
She's a witch.
I mean,
Potion.
She's psychic.
That might be true. Oh, fuck. I've never even. I don't know why I thought she was some gamer girl.
Because there was some kind of story about he was at a gaming thing to support
she was
his-
performing. That's okay.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. I'll try to find that picture and throw that up because it's disturbing. Fuck it. We got a few more minutes.
Maybe
I'm
it
gonna
was-
I'm gonna peek into the high thoughts. Let's just grab something off of that.
Okay.
Why not?
Maybe he was friends with Epstein.
Holy crap. Do you know how long it's been since we've had a podcast? We, since the time we record our last one, we almost went to a world war.
We did. A couple times.
Totally missed it. Yeah, a couple times.
Still might.
Yeah.
Why did we loop Antarctica and Mars into the same one? Anybody?
I don't know. We were high. That's the point of high thoughts. I was high.
I don't smoke. I just do crystal meth.
You know, fuck it. Fucking Australia.
Oh,
What the
man.
fuck?
That's awful.
A couple, it was probably a week ago when I read it and they were saying 500 million animals are dead.
No, it's up to 1 billion.
Is it up to a
No.
billion? And I keep seeing those memes of like, it's fucking sad,
Steve
man.
Irwin.
Yeah, and it
Oh.
shows like all them animals like going up to heaven. And Steve Irwin said, you know, you're good now. And like they can't hurt you now. And it's Steve Irwin. Like fuck.
Hey, show that to Becca.
No. Fuck right off. Ding.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but
terrible.
and I saw an interview with his wife and his son, who looks exactly fucking like him.
Yeah.
Dude, that
I like watching his
that,
they have
that,
videos
that
and
kid
stuff.
knows his shit.
They
I
have-
don't.
yeah.
He's
They
probably.
They have their own TV show. It's good. My wife watched it all the time.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's just about them in the zoo.
Why do they dress
Exactly the same.
Exactly.
In camp or
the
khakis.
like, yeah.
Because it's the zoo attire.
Because if they're living off of Steve's legacy.
Man, Steve Irwin. I used to watch the shit out with Crocodile Hunter.
And everybody would say one of these days something's going to get them. Like we
With a
all
stingray.
said it for
Bitch
years.
ass stingray.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a crocodile or something like fucking mean. Fuck stingray.
I mean, it was like, yeah, it was sad that it was a stingray, but we all knew something at some point was going to
yeah,
get him.
speaking of not giving, he didn't give a fuck, man. He would
No.
just, Steve Irwin. Yeah.
Speaking of Canadians, Australians are probably a close second of nicest and not giving a fuck people.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you're talking about a convict colony there.
Yeah.
make it on your bucket list to go there. Been
I
there.
want to go there. I thought you went. Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I went.
You've been to Australia?
Mm-hmm.
When?
In high school.
When the fuck did you go to Australia?
It was actually
why?
it was actually like a school. It wasn't sponsored by the school, but it was through the school.
Time out. Lynchburg sent people to Australia?
Yeah.
Miss Hamilton went.
Oh.
No.
I'm glad I stayed.
Yeah, crusty old bitch.
She didn't go.
Oh, I thought she was going.
You just want to throw out
Yeah, you
insults.
just wanted to attack
No, I thought she did go. I thought she was the one
reason.
that was putting it on.
No.
Oh, she put on that other stupid camp thing that you went to.
Yeah. Both Faust went, and I don't know. Like there was probably 10 of us. We went to Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii.
You went to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Wow.
I should have went to that.
Why?
one other one.
Why did you go?
It was.
It was a bullshit excuse for a vacation. It was for learning.
It was through EF Tours, which is like it's totally, we're way off the wall here. It was a,
Fuck it.
yeah, it was sort of like an educational like trip, but I mean, we still had to pay for it. But it was like way cheaper than it would have ever been to go through
I was
that on
gonna
your own.
say because we got
The whole thing was like $2,500 or something like that, and it was like a 10-day trip or something. It was awesome.
Oh, and that included like your hotels and all that.
Everything.
Dude,
Oh.
a flight to Hawaii is like $1,300.
Yeah, it included flights to all these places, guided tours everywhere you went. Like your schedule was pretty much packed from the time you woke up until like 6 or 7 in the evening, and then you had free time for the rest of the time. But
I can't imagine
I mean-
Jim Faust in Australia. That's hard. It's hard to
dude,
imagine.
poor Jim. We flew from Cincy to L.A. and then we were going from L.A. to Fiji, and he had his passport, but it looked like the thing got dropped in a bathtub or something. Like he goes to show it and it's like wavy like this, and they're like, yeah, we can't use this or whatever. He had to stay back, and like it takes a long ass time to get a passport, man, like weeks. He had to like stay back in LA and go through all this expedited process to get a brand new one made like on the fly before they would let him go.
So he had to take a different flight and everything.
Oh yeah, he had to totally fly separate. Yeah, I felt so bad. But he got there like 2 days or I don't know,
That's
a day later or
insane.
something.
See, I've never been out of the country.
Been to Canada.
I haven't been to Canada.
Are they nice?
Yeah. Where I was at was mostly tourist.
Square wheels,
No, that's
Hmm.
cool.
bummer.
Fucking jaws didn't attach. Yeah, I'd like to go to Canada. I really want to go to Australia, but I mean, if it's
Yeah.
burnt to the fucking ground, I mean, I don't know if I really want to go anymore.
It was pretty sweet, but I mean, we were in Sydney, so it just felt like a
You didn't-
U.S. city.
You didn't go out back?
No, I mean, we went to like.
Play the didgeridoo.
What the hell's that?
That whoa.
Oh no, but we watched some people do that. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
What is it
A
called?
what?
It's a didgeridoo.
A didgeridoo.
How do you spell that?
Sound it out.
Didgeridoo. Right there.
Holy.
Yeah. You didn't know that's what that was called?
Whoa.
Isn't there like some type of like? Is it
Didgeridoo.
a cough drop commercial or something?
Yeah.
The Figo.
No,
What is
that's
that?
that's a
Something
yodeling some.
Yeah, but they got a thing.
Yeah.
too,
But
but
what is that commercial?
Free
I've been trying to
cola.
Free cola.
free. Oh, never mind. I've been saying it for years, and I was like, "What the fuck is that commercial?"
Did you see any Aborigines?
What's that?
The natives, like the native wild men
Oh no.
with the didgeridoos.
Did you see any hot blonde Australian girls?
I mean, yeah.
God, that accent.
You know, they also had like I didn't drink at this point in my life, but like
Well,
it's
you were
like
in
it's
high
like
school.
it's like a 18-year-old limit there. It might even be younger than that.
They all drink there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of like everybody but us is like 18.
We joined up with like groups that were also from the States. I think we were with like maybe 2 other groups. And there was like some kids that were like our age that went and just got trashed in Australia, and they just got ripped.
Were you allowed?
I feel like I was old enough to drink, but I never.
I mean, would they have let you? Faust in it?
No, I doubt it.
See, that's why they didn't offer that to my class and shit. We went over there and just got fucking hammered.
I tried to get you to go,
Yeah. I ain't got no money.
dude. They had like a couple different big fundraisers. Like we only paid probably half of it. The rest of it was through fundraisers.
Well, back then I didn't realize I wanted to go.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't even go to Washington D.C. with school.
I didn't either.
Oh, I went to that too.
That
on,
sounds
guys.
stupid.
Jesus.
I'd rather go to Washington, D.C. by myself.
Oh yeah, I would too. But
Did you see any kangaroos?
yeah,
Really?
That's awesome.
and a wallaby.
Well, did you see those big ass spiders?
No, fuck those.
Because
and
Oh,
snakes.
where I work, we have a warehouse in Australia. They always call in so we can fix their shit. And I always ask the Australian guy that calls in about all the animals and stuff there, and he's always telling me about the big spiders that are like bigger than your head that hide up in the corner. And he says those aren't the ones you got to worry about. Some little tiny bastards. They'll hide in a box. They bite you. You're
orb
dead.
spiders.
Yeah. He said, don't worry about them big boys. Them big boys jump. I'm worried about them.
I'm worried about all spiders. I want a pet wallaby. Isn't that just like a midget kangaroo?
Yeah,
The fuck
Pretty
is the
much.
wallaby? Why can't I think of what a wallaby is?
It's like a
it's a midget
kangaroo that's
kangaroo.
like that big.
No, it's not that small. They're like waist high.
Really?
Yeah,
That sounds terrifying. Wait, ain't wallabies
like
like
a dog.
they got like the big ears and they got like the
That's a koala.
koala is what I'm thinking of.
koala.
I was about to say them things are up to your waist. That's fucking
That
terrifying.
would be scary.
I mean, unfortunately, they're all going to be gone here in a couple.
Way to fucking bring that down.
Sorry.
Talking about cute animals.
No, because I just saw that they've been helicoptering in a bunch of food and stuff for them.
Did you see they're going to have to shoot the camels?
What
What?
the fuck?
Yeah, because there's not enough water. So these camels are searching. They're talking about having to shoot like 10,000 camels
What?
because they're going to drink up all the water that's left.
No, you greedy bitch.
Boom.
Are you serious?
That's what I read.
That's sad. I
Is
didn't
this the end of the world? I mean, the entire how often has an entire continent caught on fire?
Brazil
Ever?
was just on fire too, or the Amazon.
Well, isn't well,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Just like a couple months ago.
but to be fair, like I don't think like Australia it's not fully civilized. It's only certain parts,
It's a
right?
small bottom portion.
Yeah.
The rest
So
is
like
just
if it
wild.
catches, like there's nothing they can do about it. Like it's gonna fucking go up.
Oh,
before-
you mean like as far as like inhabited the entire
Yeah.
continent?
Yeah, I
it's
think
just
it's like
just
the-
the perimeter.
Yeah.
The entire
So if a fire
center
starts
is
right there in
the
the middle,
outback.
by the time they fucking realize it, like fucking Australia's up in flames. What the fuck they gonna do about it? That's why they're flying in of like American firefighters and stuff. See, I did see stuff like that. That's actually pretty cool. Like I saw a video of like American firefighters landing, and like the airport was filled, and they were just giving this big ass round of applause, just waiting for them to come in there. And then Danny sent me the video or a picture of them dumping like carrots and potatoes and stuff, like thousands upon thousands of pounds of them, to these animals from helicopters. So I mean, it's I think it's cool what humanity can do when we don't want to be pieces of shit.
yeah in a crisis.
What pieces of shit's the ones that started the fires?
Yeah.
How did the fire start?
There was like 17 people I think they found that
Yeah, a bunch
started
of-
brush fires.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm sure they weren't anticipating the entire continent would catch on fire, but
Didn't that happen in like California or something not too long ago
Yeah.
too? Like some teenagers or something started a fire or something.
Yeah.
California's always on fire. It just needs to break off. I don't like California.
I forget what politician it was recently that said, I think it was Tulsi Gabbard actually. She was like said something about I forget how she asked. She said something about California and if we wouldn't mind losing them from the union or something. Everybody was like, bad example.
Nobody really gives two shits about California.
I seen an article today. You know how Virginia's threatening to take away guns?
Yes.
Supposedly, I don't know how true this is. It was an article on Facebook that said that West Virginia voted to accept a Virginia county into their state. So basically, that county is seceding from Virginia.
Is it Family Guy I'm thinking of, where he becomes his own territory, or somebody breaks off from the U.S.? We should do that. Come up with our own laws.
Sovereign nation.
Legalize everything. I don't know how we'd get it in here, but it'd be legal. That's a good episode. We can learn a lot from Family Guy. It's kind of like The Simpsons, but The Simpsons predict the future. Family Guy gives us ways to live lives. But yeah, what's some of that stuff that I know we're...
Oh, I found the tweet. She said the U.S., in parentheses, Trump, just gifted Turkey a large chunk of Syria. Would America be okay if Syria gave California to Mexico?
Go ahead. Isn't it pretty Mexico anyways?
Some of their responses are hilarious. America would be better. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for the help.
Yes.
Bad example.
What's some of the shit that the Simpsons predicted? Didn't they predict like Donald Trump running for president or something?
Dude, they have him on the stair.
Yeah.
They do.
They have a picture, like a real picture, and then that one side by side. It's like
identical. Going down the staircase in his whatever in his
and then
hotel.
Who's that like 13-year-old chick? She's an activist.
Oh, Thornburg or whatever.
Yeah.
Greta.
Yeah, Greta. And they're like comparing her to like Lisa did it and all that. And they showed newspaper Lisa Simpson changing climate in Springfield or whatever.
Well, there's that meme where Lisa's standing on stage.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Fucking Simpsons. I haven't watched that in forever.
They predicted 9/11.
See, that one's a reach though. Ain't it like some like magazine or
It's a
something?
magazine that has a 9 and then the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one we need to jump into, 9/11.
Ugh.
Yeah, all roads lead back to 9/11.
I don't know. That'd be a good idea.
Oh, they predicted the Siegfried and Roy tiger attack.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
That was kind of an easy prediction. That was like a Steve Irwin prediction there.
He was gonna.
Yeah, some of them are a little.
That tiger is eventually gonna bite one of them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, come
I
on.
just about said something.
I don't.
Terrible.
They
Say it.
They beat the shit out of those animals. Come on. Just like any circus, how do you get an animal to do tricks? You reinforce it.
The discovery of the Higgs-Boson equation, whatever that is. Apparently, Homer writes this really elaborate equation, and it eventually becomes like an actual scientific equation.
That's the super collider.
You know, Homer's one of
Is
those
it?
like dads I wanted to be. It's Homer, Hank Hill, and I don't know if you guys ever watched the show. Have you ever seen F is for Family on Netflix? Oh, you gotta watch that show. I want to be Frank Murphy so bad. He tells his kids he's gonna put them through a fucking wall. Like, oh, that's
Bill Burr's show, isn't it?
yeah, that's parenting right there.
Dude, speaking of Netflix shows, have you guys checked out Don't Fuck with Cats?
Oh my god, that thing is so. Did you guys end up watching it?
I've watched one episode. Don't tell me what happens.
I think I'm only on like the second one.
Is this about real cats?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's about this this kid or dude, whatever, and he starts he posts a video of torturing a cat, and then nobody thinks it's real or anything. But then he keeps posting these videos, and this group comes together to find out who this guy really is because he doesn't show his face.
They have no idea where
And he
he's
leaves
at.
trails for them, and they follow clues. It's fucking trippy. I had to look it up because I thought it was like a Netflix fake documentary. This shit really happened. This dude is.
It's fucked up.
Oh, did Becca watch it?
Surprisingly, she was the one that because I watched the first 10 minutes of it on my own one day.
Yeah, she was talking
And-
about it at the alley.
Yeah, I was like, "There's no way in hell I can show it." And she's a huge cat lover. I was like, "There's no way we can watch this." And she was like, "Let's watch a show." I'm like, really?
Did she cry?
What do you think?
Yeah, you need to check that out. That's really good. I think I'm on like the second episode.
Really good in a really fucked up way.
It's really well put together. There you go. It's a horrible documentary, but it's really well put together. Netflix has a lot of good documentaries though. I'm still waiting on the third season of Making a Murder.
I haven't watched
Yeah,
any
there needs
of
to
that.
be some more development than that. I think those guys are screwed.
No, I keep following it a little bit. I still don't even know if they did it or not.
Dude, Stephen Avery's a little jacked. For sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I've always had the opinion that reputations just don't come about out of fucking thin air.
well, no, he did some fucked up shit, like throwing a cat in a fire and shit when he was younger. He got arrested for that.
Don't fuck with cats. But he also ran off his cousin off the road and
Yeah,
threatened to kill her and had a gun. And
Apparently
Well,
was like-
that's
would run out on the front lawn and start
kinda
jerking off or something.
commonplace.
yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, no
I
big
mean, it's
deal.
just a family dispute.
That happens in Lynchburg all the time. Like, you know how many motherfuckers run their cousins off the road? All of us.
But they try to just like glaze over those like pretty important details. I'm like, wait a second, like I don't
kinda like-
know if he actually committed these murders. I definitely think there was a little bit of cover up involved
Yeah.
from the police, but
Maybe it's like the OJ deal. Like, we didn't catch this time, but we're going to get you on this
If
one.
the glove don't fit, he quit. Wouldn't that be? Could you imagine that though? Like being, because they've been in prison since like what, 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. Can you imagine being in prison for like 15, 16 years, and you didn't do it, and nobody believes you?
no,
I'd be ready to do it when I got out.
I'd Jeffrey Epstein myself.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You have somebody kill you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing about it, though. He was in prison before that for like 18 years of like rape or something
Right.
that he didn't commit,
Okay, so fuck that guy then.
but he didn't do it.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh,
do
he
it.
didn't do it?
Yeah, he didn't
Wait,
do the
you
rape.
haven't seen Making
Yeah.
a Murder?
So,
Oh,
wait a minute.
dude,
He's already
Oh
done 18
my
years.
god!
Yeah, he got out
Yeah,
he got out in like 2002 for a rape that they claim he did and all that. The sheriff made like a sketch drawing
No,
of the guy.
dude, you gotta watch.
So, wait a
it.
minute. He's already did 18 years
Yeah, yeah.
for something. he
Okay,
did.
Okay,
no,
so
listen.
now he's doing
no,
more?
time out. Everybody stop. You need to watch it. It's 2 seasons. Watch it, and we need to do an episode about it.
Yeah,
We could go on for that.
You
one.
should binge it because it's. You won't be able to stop watching. It's that good.
Because when I watched it, it's when it first came out, and I binge watched it in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. You
I had,
get so.
I had to
hooked.
wait years for the next fucking season to come
Yeah.
out. Because they literally started filming. I want to say they started filming some of this footage when he got out for the rape.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's back in for a murder.
Yeah.
They hate
Well,
this
you'll,
guy.
I mean,
Like,
you'll
money. Like it's
This happens right at the beginning of the
Yeah.
the episode, so it's not going to give away too much. But they get him on rape for his first offense, and they do a sketch of the suspect, and they have his picture from a previous arrest, and they literally just sketch exactly what he
sheriff.
looks like, and they're like, "Does he look like this?"
And
And
the-
they're like,
and the fu-
that's the guy.
And the fucked up thing is, when this happened, he didn't look like that. Like his hair was different and
Yeah.
everything.
Dude, it's wild. You got to watch it.
What is it, Manitowoc County in Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
Corrupt motherfuckers down there,
hate
in
that
Manitowoc County.
How do you get wrongly convicted twice of terrible crimes?
I don't know. We call Stephen Avery.
Let's have him on.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd jump on.
Yeah, dude, you gotta watch that. That might have to be our next episode.
And
just talking
then his nephew Brendan Dassey.
yeah, don't tell him about that.
No, you got to see that for yourself. Like it'll just blow your mind, and you'll feel bad for this kid. You really
Yeah.
will. Yeah, that'd be a good one. We should do that one. Gives me a reason to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, once you watch the first one, you'll be hooked. Because I didn't know anything about these murders when I started watching the documentary.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh shit, did he do it? What's going to happen next?"
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. It's worth to watch. And then another good one to watch is it's kind of along the same lines. It's called The Staircase Murders.
I've heard.
There's
of that.
only one season of that. It's about some author who his wife ends up like dying or getting killed or whatever, but supposedly he said she fell down the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like this big case of like, did she fall down the stairs? It looked like somebody like murdered her, and they dig in on him, and then come to find out his previous wife or something from a different country also died from falling down the stairs. Like, it's a really fucked up documentary.
Both had
Now it sounds
footprints on
familiar.
their
Now
back.
that
Yeah, it's called Staircase Murders, I think. It's a good one. You should watch that one too.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, sounds good.
You'll learn something this week.